Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. This is the Moon Witch, and in today's video we're going to find out how people think of you. How do others see you? So normally I wouldn't care how others see me, but I think recently I've changed my mind about this. I think it would be fun to find out about these little secrets of how others see you. So before we begin, I want to let you guys know that my personal readings are open. So if you like my readings and if you need a personal reading, you can contact me at this email address and I'll be there for you. So back to today's video, we have 4 groups to choose from. Group number 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can use your intuition to pick out the right group for you. Maybe use your hands to help and pause the video for as long as you need. Now once you've done that, you can fast forward to the timestamps I provide down in the description box as well as the pinned comment, and I will see you in your reading. And a traveler, 3 of crystals, 4 of crystals. We have an extra card, which is the Page of Shells. Ooh, you actually do leave a good impression on people. So first of all, with the traveler, I think you are indeed the traveler. Okay, you are the adventurer to others. They see you that's very courageous when it comes to not compromising to the rules or to others' opinion or to the judgment that the majority will pass on to individuals, and you are courageously choosing the life that you want and not compromising to anything else. And also they see you as someone that travels a lot, or if you're not, then they must have seen that you have this wish or this aspiration to travel around the world one day. And also I'm seeing a van. Okay, I'm seeing 2 people, maybe a couple, living on a van life. So it could be you and your romantic partner, but I also think that it represents 2 really good friends, so BFFs, on this bus life or van life, really on the road. For some reason I'm seeing a kind of fear. Maybe this is also what people will see in you, a kind of fear that you need to sort of remove from your subconscious mind, because I'm seeing the traumas from the past, and it's like you're wearing it outside. Even if you try to hide, you cannot 100% hide it from others. They kind of see that in your eyes. So it's a fear from the past that still lingers. And I'm also getting this very sincere wish from your friends or even strangers that they want you to recover from all those wounds from the past. And they're sending you really good energy. And I think it's because you're giving out this kindness and this sincerity to others, and so they would give you this loving energy in return as well. So this is a traveler, and also I think to some people you may appear to be the outsider, because it seems to them that you are not restrained by anything, and they wonder how can you be so free, not necessarily outside, but they wonder how you can be so free in your mind. You just don't really care about those regulations, and I don't really think you care about how others think of you either. It's like I'm just living my life and trying to make the best out of it, and I don't think those traditions or the regulations matter. And for some reason they think that I'm cool. I don't really know why. It's something like that. And now the second card we have the 3 of crystals. So I guess a lot of you are freelancers or artists, and this is you just have that quality that people just don't see you as someone that's goes to work at a certain hour and go home at a certain hour. Like, they don't see you as someone that's like regular as that. They see you as someone that's like completely free, even when it comes to your daily routine. Because like, if you're an artist or a freelancer, you're sort of outside of that social machine. You're not a nail in that. And you're just completely on your own. But somehow with the Three of Crystals, I think they see that you have your own way of making money, of achieving this financial freedom and abundance. And they really do like your work, right? With the Three of Crystals. I'm also seeing someone that's like making jewelries. If so, they really, really do admire your work. They think that you make true works of art, and that you are professional. All right, that's what I'm hearing. You are the professional. You're not just fooling around or like trying to be a badass, but like, you really have your place in your field, in your industry, and that you really do have a voice in your field. And the third card here, we have the Four of Crystals. I'm seeing a castle, but it's like a very isolated castle. So it's not like the center of the kingdom or anything, but it's like you're the king of yourself. It's like a castle on an island, and it's your own island. So it's like you're the king of your own kingdom, and you're the ruler. You are in a complete control of your life, and they see that you're having a good time, and somehow you are a bit of how do I say that? You're a bit of a loner. They probably see that you don't necessarily want to make friends, you don't want to socialize with anyone, and you're just fine just by hanging out with yourself, and they see you as someone that likes to do a lot of things alone, and you genuinely enjoy that. And probably you have a cat or a pet or something, and they see that you're sort of this perfect harmony. You're in this perfect harmony. And when it comes to relationships, even if you're alone or you only have a pet, why did I say you only have a pet? I think that's perfectly fine. But like, you are not like conventionally accompanied. Maybe you were not like, you're single and you don't really have friends, but you're perfectly fine with that. And I'm also seeing that they think that you read a lot, or that they think you like reading, right? You just have that quality for people. And so basically, you come off as someone that's like really romantic. Again, not in a like conventionally romantic way, like roses and candlelight dinners and stuff like that. No, but like, you are romantic because you romanticize your life. You can be really touched by the sunset or the cloud, watching it move from that side to this side, or you would be fascinated by a tree or flowers, stuff like that. You romanticize your life, and they really do see that. And also with the Page of Shells, so the Page of Shells is teenagers, I think, would be from 12 to 14, and there is no strict like lines of the ages that these cards represent. I just go with my instinct. So this time I feel like this Page of Shells is representing your age from 12 to 14. So think about like your classmates or your friends from that age, and I think they remember things you said, okay? The things that you may not even pay much attention to. Like, you don't think it's a big deal, but somehow they remembered. And you continue to inspire them. I don't know why I hear that. You continue to inspire them. And another important message is that maybe you have shared your dream with, again, people that you know, people that you knew from this age. And somehow they see that you have made your dream come true. All right? They think that you have made your dream come true. And this inspires them and encourages them to pursue their own dreams. Wow, group number one. This is really good news. And I mean, you really leave good impressions on people. And, you know, I'm seeing this image of a person that's like, it's almost like having the torch from their chest. So they're giving off, right? They're giving off this bright light, white light or golden light. And there's a mirror in front of this person. And so the light that he gives out is directly reflected back to him. So he's all lighten up, brighten up. And this is the image that I'm seeing, group number one. So I feel like you are this person. So you are giving out like really good vibes. Even sometimes like you don't feel that way. But the truth is you're giving out really, really bright lights. And the world is a mirror to you. So you will receive really good energy. So I'm really happy for you, group number one. Let's see what else we have. And you're making progress. I know I'm hearing that. You're making progress. And look, another page card. So I'm seeing that you really do leave an impression on like your old classmates, your old friends from, you know, teenage years, and that you're really important to them. And yeah, like I said, you continue to inspire them. Even if you lost contact, but whenever they think of you, they are inspired and they are encouraged, you know. And justice, truth and clarity. For some reason, people think of you as someone that's like really wise. And ooh, I'm getting Libra energy from you. All right. I use Vedic astrology, so I'm gonna go with Vedic Libra. All right. So in tropical, you may have been Libra or Virgo. Oh, sorry, Libra or Scorpio, but Vedic Libra. I feel like a lot of times you're too wise that you don't really want to be a part of the game because you see it too clear. And sometimes maybe even a little cynical. And I think you appear to be this wise person that people can go to ask advice for. And another important message I'm hearing is that sometimes when, like, conventionally, you should be angry about something. Okay, that's like conventionally agreed that you should be angry about something or a certain situation, but somehow you're not. And that is the Vedic Libra I'm talking about. Like, you're too rational to like let your emotions run free. It's like you kind of skipped that that process of being sentimental, and you skip that process, and you're kind of like this well worked machine, because all you can think of is how to solve this problem, or like what you need to do, like, you know, what the right thing is to do. And that is the Vedic Libra energy that I'm sensing. It's like they don't really see you lose your temper, and somehow you get everything done perfectly. And that's why they think you're wise. Okay? What else we have? Group number one. And we also have the Nine of Crystals. And actually the Nine of Crystals popped out even before I started recording. Before I started shuffling. And I think this is pretty much like these four crystals. They see you as someone that's really abundant. And remember that abundance is never about how much money you actually have. It's about this satisfaction that you have in your heart when you were really fulfilled and you're grateful towards your life. And that is the true abundance. And they see that you have it. Okay? You are really grateful for everything that you have and you're easily satisfied. Like, you're just happy with a good sunset. You're just happy with a good dessert. And I think in a way they admire you for that. Okay, they want it too. They want to have this gratitude as well. And for some reason, I'm seeing religion, but I never want my channel to be anywhere near religious because I'm not religious, but I do believe in spirits and gods and goddesses. I do believe that I believe in Jesus. I believe in Buddha. I believe in animal spirits. I just genuinely believe that there are some people, some kind of existence other than us human. So I would say that people think that you are also very spiritual and you're connected with deities. And of course, if you're religious, then it applies. But if you're not, again, I mean all kinds of spirits. So they see that you are somehow connected with those spirits, with those deities. So that is all I have for group number 1. Thank you so much for watching. And remember that if you need a personal reading, you can find me at this email address and I'll be there for you. So I hope you enjoy this reading and I'll see you in the next one. So group number 2, when I was shuffling, I heard practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. So I'm getting that people may see you as someone that's really diligent. You're always improving yourself. You're always learning. Or like practice makes perfect is something that you always say to others. Or maybe you're a teacher. I don't know. Maybe you're a teacher and you always say this to your students. So basically, I'm seeing that people see you as someone that's like really self-disciplined, really diligent, and you're very keen on what you do. Like you have this passion for your job, or like you enjoy working. And I understand that nowadays people don't really like working, and most people are very tired of having to go to work and stuff like that. And it's almost like weird to say that you love your job, but I understand because I do love my job. I love reading tarot and Virgo moon, and I certainly am one of those that's like a little bit of workaholic because I just genuinely enjoy doing that, and working makes me feel alive. And so, yeah, page of crystals. And see discipline right on this card. So I do feel like you give out this energy of being a little bit of a workaholic, and that you're very passionate about your job, about what you do, even about your daily chores. And I mean, it's a good thing, even though sometimes I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like it may be a little silly to say to others, like, oh, I love, like, daily house chores, or at least I don't hate it, or that I enjoy working. I enjoy bringing service to others. But this is, we shouldn't be anywhere embarrassed about it. Maybe one day people will start to find it cool. But, we should stick with who we are on the inside. But anyway, group number 2, we have Queen of Shells and the Moon in reverse. And the 6 of Acorns. I'm actually getting two different types of energy here. People say that you have two sides, okay? There's one side of you that is like really, really hardworking, really, really rational even, not sentimental at all, because they see that you were sort of emotionless, you know. They don't see that you do anything out of being sentimental. And if you watch Sherlock, you may remember, like, I think in season 3, when Sherlock was dating Janine, and he said human error, right? Because it was all a trick. It was for a case. So Sherlock said human error. As long as you have, sentiments, you're gonna make human error. But I would say that for group number 2, you appear to be someone that's a little bit like Sherlock, because you don't. It's not that you don't have sentiments, but that when you're working or when you are sort of out there, when you're in control, you are pretty much like a person that's emotionless. You don't have sentiments, and you don't make human error like that. So they really think that you're someone that's like really put yourself together. But the other side is something that they also see, which is the Queen of Shells and the Moon in reverse. So it's like they see that you are trying very hard to put yourself together. They see that you are still sensitive, but somehow you get to hide that sensitivity, or that you like really cover it well. You don't let it ride when you're working with, or like when you need to be serious. Okay, but they see that you have feelings. You you feel things. You're even an empath. Right? You're very compassionate about animals, about others' sufferings. So I would say Virgo, Pisces, Aquarius in Vedic astrology. So they kind of see you as, this separate personalities. And you see, these animals are looking at each other. So I'm also getting that maybe you work in charity. You work with stray animals, or you work in a hospital, or you're a teacher. I think, and getting strong like teacher vibes. So if you're a teacher, then you really appear to be someone that really loves children. You're not just working as a teacher because of the benefits, or the welfare, or the social status. You work as a teacher because you really believe in the power of education, and you really do love children, and you feel for them, and you're not that kind of, I'm the authority, I'm a teacher, and you all need to listen to me, that kind of teacher. Like, you really communicate, you really hear your student, you really hear those kids, and you're a really good teacher. And needless to say, your students must have loved you, right? And like doctors, police officers, even, where do you work in charity, like environmental organizations, or help with stray animals. What else? Like you sort of achieve this perfect balance between like having to do stuff to like make progress, or to really improve things on earth, that you need to be like completely selfless and emotionless in order to make things move forward. But also people see that you were still very compassionate and sensitive towards other sufferings, or like their problems. So let's see the card that's like being in the middle here. What would it be? 5 of Feathers. Wow, what a surprise. 5 of Feathers. 8 of Crystals. All I can think of this is this example, of a really good policeman. Okay, because with the 5 of Feathers and the 8 of Crystals, for one, I'm getting that. I don't know why, like, your impression on people is so much concerned with your job. Okay, with the 8 of Crystals, it's like people can see what you do, or like people can pretty much guess what you do at first glance. You just have that quality, you have that vibe. I'm really curious about what you do now. It's like people can see that from first glance. And the second thing with the 5 of Feathers, I'm seeing knives or weapons. So it really would apply if you're a doctor, if you're a surgeon, because if you do operations on your patients and you use knives and scissors and stuff like that, and that is what 5 of Feathers represents. The iron, the cold iron machinery or knives. Okay, and so doctors definitely, or policemen. Because with the 5 of Feathers, it's like you need to be cruel. You need to almost work like this machine. Okay? You are not allowed to feel things. You're not allowed to feel scared. I mean, it also applies to surgeons. Because when you need to cut all the guts open, or like, that's scary, but you're not allowed to feel that. Even if you feel compassionate about, like, how your patients are suffering, you are not allowed to cry with them. You're not allowed to show that, empathy, because in order to better serve them, or like in order to save their lives, you need to be a little cruel and, emotionless, so that you can have that, mindset to carry out that operation perfectly in order to save their life. So it's like you're sort of mixing up the rational part and the sentimental part into your job, into your career, into what you do. So again, for example, if you're a policeman, then maybe you really do want to be this ambassador of justice. Or maybe you're a lawyer, right? So like you really need to be on the side of justice. But there's no use in like feeling bad about what people are experiencing, or like just shed your tears for them, or to console them, given hugs or a pat on the shoulder. There's no use in doing that. Like, if you know that if you want to help them, you really need to be this 5 of Feathers. Like, you really need to be a little intimidating for the bad people, for the bad guy, right? It's a little bit like the Batman. If you really feel for the downfall of the city of Gotham, then you really need to do something for it. And by doing that, I think you also lose the right, or you lose the privilege to shed your tears for something, or for someone. Because when you're Batman, you sort of give up on this fame of being this hero. You give up on all those vanity. Instead, you choose to be the protector. You even choose to sacrifice for it. And that is love, very, very deeply hidden, and probably unappreciated even. But remember, group 2, this reading is about how others see you. So I think they see that in you. Even though sometimes people may be a little intimidated by you, because of the fact that you're always so calm, okay? They don't see fear, they don't see emotions on you. You're always so calmly doing the right thing. They not only respect you, but also a little bit intimidated by you. But they also see that you have a very kind and generous and a loving heart. Okay, even if it is hidden. They see that you're trying very hard to like put yourself together and not let those softness run out. Wow. What else we have for group number 2? The last message we have. The Sun in reverse and King of Acorns. Oh my god. The Sun, see, the Sun pretty much represents the child, okay? The sincerity and the purity of a child, but now it's in reverse. So I would say that, of course, you're no longer a child. Instead, you grow into this King of Acorns. Okay, you have that child's optimism and innovation still within you, still in the core of your heart, but somehow the King of Acorns, now the king is very sophisticated. So you're this mixture of this, sophistication as well as the optimism and the purity of a child's heart, you know. So I would say that you are such a charisma to others because they see that you're this perfect mixture of these two qualities. You were a really mature leader to others. And wow, group number 2. That's a really beautiful reading. Thank you so much for watching. And remember that if you need a personal reading, you can find me at this email address and I'll be there for you. So I hope you enjoy this reading and I'll see you next one. Alright. Group number 3, I'm already sensing Leo energy, so Vedic Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising, and also a little bit of Libra. Okay. So maybe in tropical you were a Virgo, Leo, Scorpio, or Libra. Now let's see, how do others see you? 6 of Shells in reverse, King of Acorns in reverse, and High Priestess. People see you as someone like that matured a lot. I don't know, but I'm seeing like this transformation. Okay, so this is not usually if you're only meeting someone for the first time, they wouldn't see this transformation, but I am clearly seeing like this growth in you. So I would say that you may not be meeting new people, or like you're not making new acquaintances, and the people that, like, how do others see you, like this others is pretty much like the people that you knew from the past. So this would explain why I'm seeing like this growth in you, because what I'm seeing is what they see in you, like what they feel about you. So yeah, I'm guessing you're not making new acquaintances, and that people from your past have seen your growth over the years. They've seen you have matured so much, especially with the Six of Shells in reverse. I feel like there are people like that you knew when you were a kid, were like people that you grew up with, your siblings, your old roommates, old friends, etc. Or even an ex from a long time ago. Like you're no longer in touch with these people, but somehow they are still watching you. They still follow you on social media, etc. Um, they still follow what you're up to, and they have seen the changes. Oh, I'm also hearing that maybe some of you have changed your name, or you have a new nickname or a new stage name. um, I'm seeing that they see that you have changed your name, or you've changed your style, you've changed your belief system, or you have new tattoos. Basically they see you as someone that's like completely different from who they used to know. And let's see, how do they see you before, because I am seeing this comparison in their eyes. So with the King of Acorns, they saw you as someone that's a little bit bold. They saw you as someone that's like really outgoing. Maybe you were more extroverted in the past. They see you as someone that's like optimistic, and you are more of a leader. You know, you are like always bringing up new ideas, and calling up for people to hang out. So you were basically the leader of the group. And I'm also seeing that you were very proud. You have that pride in your walk and in your style. And I'm also hearing the word buoyant, so I guess like you also appeared to them as someone that's like really vibrant and even a little bit childlike in the past. Um, but they saw that you have changed from this person, because this card is in the reverse. You have changed from this, very very outgoing and very extroverted person. Like you were always very direct. You say what you say what you mean. Um, to this high priestess, it means that you're more reserved and you have more secrets. Okay, that's what I'm strongly hearing, secrets. And they see in your aura that you have held a lot of secrets in your heart that you are not going to tell anyone. And then you were sort of keeping things to yourself. You're more quiet and more sophisticated now. And I think, let's see what else they think of you. I'm I'm getting that they are a little sorry that you have changed. Because with the Six of Shells here, also in reverse, I feel like this could be you too. Maybe you used to have like a best friend in the world, and you're no longer in touch. And I'm seeing that person. I feel like this used to be you. You were hanging out. You went to a lot of places. I'm also seeing like a promise or a commitment to each other. Is like, I know we all do all those silly stuff as kids, like when you find a tree hole and you vow to be best friends forever, stuff like that. You have all those commitments with a best friend. And I'm specifically seeing a friendship, okay? And I'm seeing that they're still, they haven't changed much, or they haven't changed as much as you did. So I feel like they were kind of confused. That was the mixed feeling that I was getting, Um, I feel like they were kind of confused about why you've changed so much, or like why you cut them off, why you no longer hang out with them. Because I think they were still on the same orbit, but you're not. And with the Ten of Acorns in reverse, I feel like if there's anything Like, Patrick Star and SpongeBob, they have like the BFF ring for each other. And I feel like if you have like the friendship bracelet or friendship rings or anything, almost like a souvenir that you have for each other, they're still keeping that. Okay. And I think somehow they even still consider you as their best friend, or that like there's always a place for you in their heart. Um, so they were still keeping these things that you had together in the past, even though they kind of had the feeling that you're not the same person anymore and you may not come back. Mm, but I think they were still holding on to that. And it's like another thing that they have been feeling about you is that you stop talking, you stop telling things that are important to you to them, even though you're still in touch. Okay, for some of you, even though you're still in touch, they feel like you have been, beaten around the bush, like you're not communicating with them, like you're not sharing with them what really means to you. Maybe you talk about your cat, you talk about your neighbor, you talk about your parents, your siblings, and people around you, but you don't talk about yourself. Even if you talk about yourself, like you don't really share what's in the bottom of your heart with them anymore. And they were just kind of confused and they missed the old times. And you see, all these animals are looking to the left, and the left is the past, right? But this is who you are now, and you're looking to the future. So on your side, I would say, especially with the high priestess, I would say that you are like, there's nothing you did wrong. Okay, you don't need to apologize for changing, right? Um, on your side, I would say that you just maybe had the spiritual awakening. You were closer to your soul. You were um, more clear on your soul's purpose. You want to be serious about your life. You don't want to just fool around. You want to start to take responsibility and build your career, etc., build your dream life. You want to get serious. And that feel like you were kind of tired of like social work, not social work, socializing with others. Like you were tired of human interaction. You want to spend more time alone. You want to spend more time to study, to read, to improve yourself. And that I think that you may feel like you were kind of tired of the game. You're tired of playing games or pretend to be someone you're not. And that's why you probably just cut them off, or like you didn't pretend to be who you used to be just to keep that harmony, because you know that it would be fake, and you don't want to do that to yourself, and you want to spend more time living as the true you, living as who you are today, and you don't want to waste your time like pretending or faking anything. And there's nothing you did wrong, group 3. I mean, there's no point in apologizing for changing who you are. I mean, we all change, and we should change, okay? The most horrible thing is to be the same person that you were like 10 years ago and not making any changes in your life. Whew. Why do I need to sign? I take everything as this synchronicity, because I don't usually sign. I don't sign in my readings nor in my life. But I feel like this could be also a huge relief for you. Maybe you have held some guilt towards not talking to them anymore. But no, there's really no point. Maybe at some time they would also change, and they will let go of this, holding on to your old relationship. Maybe they'll let go and they just start to send you blessings, and there's no harsh feeling for them either. I mean, we all change. One day they'll change too. We have the 5 of Acorns and the 10 of Crystals. They also feel like you have taken on a risk. Okay, it's like you have quit the promising path or the promising choice. Instead, you chose the risky one, right? They've seen you taking this risk or this adventure, and somehow I feel like they're struggling because they want to do what you do. They want to take this risk as well. I'm hearing the sentence like the greatest adventure you can take is to build your dream life, to make your dreams come true, to leave your comfort zone, right? And I feel like you've already chose this, and somehow they're struggling because they want to, take their risk to go on their hero's journey and build their dream life as well. But they're not ready, or they don't have that courage yet, or they like the timing isn't right, or they don't feel called to yet. But I feel like they want to do it as well. Um, Especially if this friend of yours or anyone, if you know who this person is, especially if this person still lives with their parents, okay, or they were still sort of listening to their parents and letting their parents to make decisions for them. I feel like because they're looking at you, right? They feel like they want to not necessarily follow your footsteps, but they kind of want to do the same. Okay, they admire your courage. And also we have the 7 of Acorns and the Magician. They also feel like you are lonely. They see that you are all alone, you don't have a friend around. And see, these two animals are looking at you now. So this is how they think of you today. They feel like you're kind of lonely. You don't really have anyone around you to comfort you or like to even talk to. And with the 7 of Acorns, somehow they're seeing you struggling as well with something, because they're seeing you fighting the heart battle. Um, but I think generally they still appreciate you, and this even a little bit looking up to you, right? Because they feel like you're a few steps ahead of them. And I also feel like they have this mixed feeling for you. Maybe a little jealous, even, because the cards in my hands are kind of popping out, and not just one or two. It's like a pretty thick pile. Okay, like they're all falling out. So I feel like this person don't really have it together about you. So mixed feelings, definitely, not just blessings, but a little bit sad because you left them, or even a little jealous because they think that you're doing better than them. And we have the 8 of Acorns and the 3 of Shells in reverse. See, 3 of Shells is like this memorizing the good old times from the past. And maybe there were like 3 people in your relationship, where like these 3 of you was like a friend group, and you were really having a good time together. And now it's in reverse. So I feel like they still have the good memories, but it's like they know that it's no longer there, or like the good times are gone. And with 8 of Acorns, let me get a clarifier on this. 8 Acorns. They still want to be friends with you. They still want to reconnect with you. Especially for some of you, I feel like they want to start a small business with you, or like start a channel, a channel of 2 or 3 people, or a podcast. Let's see what else. Like starting a small bakery, or a small jewelry store. I don't know, maybe a small business, that's just a thought. Okay, they want to work with you, and they still want to hang out. Yeah, especially if you're in different cities. Okay, you're living in different cities. They kind of want to move to your city, and they want to find you. Okay, and so that's all I have for you, group number 3. I'm being called to end this reading. And so, yeah, remember that my personal readings are open. So if you need a personal reading, you can find me at this email account, and I'll be there for you. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'll see you in the next one. Now, group number 4, the first word that I'm hearing is perfectionist. Okay, even a little bit pretentious, but not like you're dishonest or like you're faking anything, but just that you're too much of a perfectionist. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, you're always like wearing full makeup or perfume and stuff like that. You're always decently dressed. It's almost like I think in 2012, 2015, I don't really remember, but like Taylor Swift was kind of famous for her photographs taken by the paparazzis, like when she got out of a gym, like when other people go out of the gym, they're like sweaty and in their sweatpants and stuff like that. But when Taylor Swift got out of her gym, she was like heels, skirts, full makeup, and it's just something like that. You were such of a perfectionist that you don't really show up in a casual way. They never see you in sweatpants or just t-shirts and not wearing your hair up, not having makeups and stuff like that, and they feel like you're always so decent, and they feel like you care a lot about your appearance. Okay, so how do others see you? Ooh, we have 3 cards in reverse. I think how they think of you is partially true. I wanted to say this before. Like, people feel like you care too much about how they think of you. It's like you don't really have that self assessment or like self judgment. It's like you don't necessarily know who you are, or you don't like, your self-worth isn't necessarily based on how you think of yourself, but based on how the outside world think of you. And that's what they feel. People can feel what you think. They can feel your energy, and they feel like you were always very elegant, and you were sort of always perfect in a way, because you were insecure about who you truly are, or you were kind of afraid of having bad comments, bad feedbacks. And that's what they feel about you. And now we have 3 cards in reverse. So the first thing that I'm getting is that you don't necessarily know how people think of you. Because, look, because of the fact that you are sort of covering yourself up with makeup, with good clothes, with accessories. You're covering yourself up in like this mask that you feel like is pleasant. And so when people don't know the real you, they definitely wouldn't have like an objective point of view about who you truly are, because you're not showing them that, and so they don't know it. And now I think the insecurity comes from the fact that they don't have a good feedback about who you truly are. You cover yourself up, and now you're kind of insecure about the fact that they don't know who you truly are. Did I make myself clear? So I think on the one hand, you really want good feedbacks from the outside world, but on the other is like you are really uncertain whether you have it or not. Maybe it's because you care about it too much that like you are kind of biased towards yourself. You become sort of overly harsh on yourself because you care about it too much. And now with the 3 cards in reverse, I feel like you really don't have any idea on how people think of you, even if all you're getting is those, compliments. You don't necessarily buy it. People can say it 100 times that you look amazing. I love your style. I love how you see the world. I love your light. I love your confidence. I love your aesthetic. But you don't necessarily believe in that. You may feel like, oh, they're just saying it because they don't know the real me. They wouldn't like me as much if they know the real me. And yeah, that's what I'm getting from all 3 reversed cards. 4 of Acorns, Queen of Shells, and 4 of... I feel like there is a particular female figure in your life, probably your mother. Why am I seeing this person? Yes, a mother figure. And I feel like when you were a teenager, okay, around the age of 13 to 14, now this is a very narrow range, and I feel like it is accurate, okay, from the age 13 to 14. I feel like it is something that your mother or your grandmother or even your sister, right, a female figure from your family, and it was like close family, not relatives, but close families. Someone that you really trusted, or you really trust still. Something that they said to you about your appearance, okay? And I'm also getting the feeling that, like, group number 4 is all about your appearance, okay? I'm already sensing this insecurity about your appearance. And I'm getting this camel. Camels are very humble. They are usually represented by in this archetype of a slave. And I feel like this is how you think of yourself. And this thought about yourself is formed when you were 13 or 14. Now, you may feel like you're not attractive at all when it comes to your appearance. But you don't appear the same way to others as it appears to yourself at all. Okay? Maybe you don't feel like you know how to style, you don't dress up well enough, your makeup isn't natural enough. Like, there's always something awkward about you. Right, the word is awkward. It's like no matter how great you actually look, you always feel awkward, you know? And that is because of something that a female figure once said to you when you were 13 or 14. And I'm also getting a scene from school. Okay, I'm seeing, like, it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a woman. I'm seeing that something that you wore to school. It may be just a normal clothes or a normal pair of pants or a normal pair of shoe, but it was like something that you wore to school, even a hairstyle. Okay, something you wore to school were like was like looked at or stared at with very weird looks. It was just like the looks from others that's like making you very uncomfortable. And it may not necessarily be what you wore, but it's like you were sort of intimidated by their looks. And that's what I'm getting. So you may always feel like you were a little awkward. But let's see how people truly think of you. First of all is your insecurity. I cannot lie about this. I will not lie about this. That your insecurity is the first thing that people sense about you. They feel like you're not certain. That's what I'm hearing. You're not certain. Maybe you're not certain of who you are. You're not certain of who you want to be. You're not certain of like your position in the world. They feel like you are not certain. Maybe you're not certain with your life purpose. You don't know why you're here. You're just very uncomfortable here. This is the first thing that people are seeing about you. And also we have the Four of Acorns. I think that you are in a very healthy community. Okay? Because even when people have seen your insecurities and awkwardness, they don't mean to mock you or make you feel any worse. They don't mean to make fun of you at all. Okay? I think you were surrounded by the right people because they just want to give you encouragement and help you see, if they can, help you see the light that they see in you. You are definitely surrounded by the right people. Group 4. Comfort, community, yes. Like who are you hanging out with? Maybe this is just an example. Like if you're a student, then maybe your classmates, like they were putting out a kind heart towards you. They don't mean to mock you or anything like that. Same thing if you're working, like if you are surrounded by your colleagues and they really hold out kind gestures towards you. Okay? And yes, you are in this really, really great community. Really warm community. I'm also hearing like churches or temples. So if you go to those places, especially if you're religious in any way, one way of gaining your confidence is to go to those places of love. And the next card we have here is Queen of Shells. I think you really do have a unique style. Okay? Well, not I think, people think. All right? I think a couple days ago, I was looking at this video of an INFP person styling herself. And it was kind of abnormal because she was INFP, and I love INFPs. One of my best friends are INFP, and I feel like her style isn't like normal. I don't know what's what's normal really, but it's uncommon. Okay, her makeup style and her dressing style are uncommon, but wonderfully weird. Oh yeah, it's a little bit like Phoebe. Okay, wonderfully weird, and yet beautiful. I mean, this may be how you appear to others. Maybe you feel weird. You feel like you're such a weirdo or even an alien, but to others, your style, even your look, like your appearance, is so unique and wonderful and beautiful. Okay? And you really do appear to them as like a fairy queen. I don't even know if that is a thing, but a fairy queen, that's the first thing that came to my mind. A fairy queen, it's like you're a butterfly, and you live in flowers. It's like the fairy Barbie. You live in flowers and you have, I don't know, that little furry ball. I only know his Chinese name. I don't know what he's called in English. But you have that little furry ball, and it's like you belong in a world like that. It's very colorful and pure, and it smells nice. Maybe you use like flower fragrance perfume, and and you appear to them as someone like this, you know? And I'm thinking of Aurora, okay? Someone like that. Aurora is also INFP, and she's one of my favorite singers. And one thing about Aurora is how unique she is, and somehow she's not shy about it. I love her so much, and I watched a lot of her documentaries and interviews, especially in her earlier years. I remember her sisters was like, you need to dress more normal, and you need to like behave more normal, because she's always been sort of a I wouldn't say a strange kid, but she was unique. She was different. And her sisters were very worried about her, being bullied at school and stuff like that. And even though she didn't fit in quite well, but like, I don't remember like her. I can't recall a time, like as one single time, when she was like insecure about her uniqueness. Like, even when her sisters are worried about her being bullied at school, she was like, "Nah, it's fine," and she had good friends. I mean, she's always been confident, and I don't know if she like feels confident all the time, or well, I guess not, because she's also human, and I think there's gonna be one day or two when she feel very insecure, or feeling like changing herself just in order to fit in. I believe that she has this struggle, because we're all humans. Just maybe like she doesn't talk about this stuff. But I I don't remember what I was talking about, but I feel like I feel like maybe learn from Aurora. You were unique, but to others you were beautifully unique. Okay? And one thing, another thing that I'm hearing is that your sensitivity is your blessing. You know, Look, I know some of you, like, if you're really, really struggling, even to a point where, like, you were so anxious that you cannot even fall asleep, but you're like, oh, sensitivity is a blessing. Like, what the fuck you talking about? But look, when we look at people and we see their fragileness, okay, we see their struggles, and we see that they can be hurt. Like, maybe not people in real life, but maybe yes, but like people from movies, okay? We fall in love with someone not because they're perfect, but because they're real, okay? We fall in love with those imperfect people from movies, or characters in a book, or singers. Like, we fall in love with them because we see their sensitivity, we see that they can be hurt, we see that they are just like us. And sometimes I think we love it when someone can shed tears. Okay, we love it when we see that they are hurt and they are insecure about themselves, and somehow weirdly that adds up to their beauty. Okay, um, especially think about it when we look at guys. Um, when we see guys, like, we're not necessarily attracted to those perfectly confident guys when they're like, "Hey babe, I know I got you. Just look at my face, look at my abs, look at my triceps. Like, how can you not fall for me?" Like, we don't fall for those guys, even if they're really, really hot. Um, we fall for those fragile and sensitive dudes, right? I believe you know what I'm talking about. And I mean, this is how your sensitivity can be a blessing, how it can be a gift. We fall in love with people with cracks and darkness and sorrow and laziness, and struggles in our conflicts, right? And yeah, even if you feel lost, even if you feel bad about yourself, objectively, because I think being objective is crucial. Objectively, you leave really good impressions on others. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. So, let's put an end to this reading. Yeah, that's all I have for you, group 4. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and my personal readings are open, so if you need a personal reading, you can find me at this email address, and I'll be there for you. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.